Good morning. Welcome to this online service of Neshoba Unitarian Universalist Church. I am the Reverend Beth Lefever, pleased and privileged as always to serve as a minister here at Neshoba, where our building remains closed due to the pandemic, but where the church is very much open. And I am so glad that you have chosen to join with us this morning. Our opening words are from a hymn by Jim Scott. Gather the Spirit, harvest the power. Our separate fires will kindle one flame. Witness the mystery of this hour. Our trials in this light appear all the same. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then. Gather in hope, compassion, and strength. Gather to celebrate once again. Let us now come together in worship. And David Cooke will light our chalice.
As I light this chalice, I offer words that I adapted from a chalice lighting by Erica A. Hewitt. The chalice, as a symbol of Unitarian Universalism, arose as a beacon of hope in an atmosphere of tyranny. The chalice arose as a sign of promise that people who were marginalized would become cherished, because each of them, each of us, is ever beloved and precious from the perspective of the holy. This morning, we remember all people who have been told explicitly or implicitly, through police violence or government policy, through derision or dehumanization, that they are, that we are, anything less than whole, anything less than beloved. As we light our chalices, may we make of our lives a beacon, a symbol of our promise to make the circle in which we place ourselves a wide circle, a sign that we will not rest until all means all. Please join me in affirming our covenant. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve human need, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with God.
Today's story for all ages is called Summer Song. The summer sun is a giant flower, and the flowers are like little suns of all different colors. But if I had to pick one color, I'd say summer is green. Green on green on green. Summer is a green song. A song of leaves and trees and weeds and grass, lots of grass. If there is tall grass in a field and the wind blows, it sounds like music. So do the air conditioners and the fans and the sprinklers and the lawnmowers. Most of the time, birds are part of the song in the air of the sky, and sometimes rain and thunder are too. If you lie in the grass and you're quiet and patient and lucky, you might hear a bug song, whirring and buzzing and humming. Are there bees? Yes. Grasshoppers? Yes. Crickets? Yes. Dragonflies? Yes. And silent butterflies too. And at night, are there fireflies? Sometimes. There's one. And another one. And another one. And another one. They're singing to each other without a sound. When there is fog early in the morning, summer is a gray song. When you go to the beach or a lake, summer is a blue song. And when the sky is blue too, but the green song is still there. In the shade, it can be cool, or when you play with the hose. But when the days become shorter and the nights come earlier, the song changes. Summer gets bored and wants to try something new, something different. The song is turning, turning, turning. It's turning to fall.
As a member of the Stewardship Committee, I want to start by thanking all of those who responded to our pledge drive. We are just about at the end of the active campaign, although if you haven't yet pledged or find yourself able to pledge more than you thought you could, we will always welcome new pledges. As we get to the end of our annual campaign, the question on everyone's mind is, how did we do? The good news is that we exceeded our budgeted amount for pledges. Did we reach our goal of 100% participation? Not yet, but there are 2 days left, today and tomorrow, so I'm hopeful. And I want to remind you that when we asked for 100% participation, we didn't mean 100% of you pledged financially. We were hoping to hear back from everyone, regardless of their financial commitment, large, small, or just can't do it now. It all helps us build our community to know who wants to stay committed to Neshoba. What I can tell you is that we received enough pledges so far that we will be able to keep our utilities and keep paying our staff. Reverend Beth, Sarah, Nix, Kendra, Megan, Tom, Chelsea, and Dave were definitely our priorities. What we also have is our dedicated Neshoba congregation. We have always stepped up when times were tough. We are doing that again. When we went into planning and budgeting for the new fiscal year, we knew it would be a rough year. There were a lot of conversations about how to handle it. Our mighty Neshoba congregation stepped up and answered the call. Thank you to everyone for being a part of the family. Thanks to the Stewardship Committee for all the hard work that went into getting this done during difficult times. Thank you for all investing time, talent, and treasure in our beloved Neshoba.
Steve Goodyear said, "But I give best when I give from that deeper place, when I give simply, freely, and generously, and sometimes for no particular reason. I give best when I give from my heart." Please give from your heart as you are able during this time of sharing our morning offering. have 3 quite short readings this morning. The first is by Bob Marley. Who are you to judge the life I live? I know I'm not perfect, and I don't live to be. But before you start pointing fingers, make sure your hands are clean. The second by Benson Bruno. This is regarding a customer facing crucial decisions. What should I wipe myself with? What should I brush with? His personal hygiene was deteriorating rapidly as he stared at the rows of possibilities, sweating profusely. Would he even bathe again? And by Dean Koontz. The saddest thing in the world was that human beings, for all their ardent striving and desire, could never achieve physical, emotional, or intellectual perfection. The species was doomed to imperfection. It thrashed forever in despair or denial of that fact. I have been watching more TV lately, maybe some of you have as well. Some really good documentaries, a few entertaining movies, and far too much of what I think of as trash TV, or TV with few truly redeeming qualities beyond low-level entertainment. Along with the latter category of programs, especially, it seems, comes some truly low-level commercials, although some are somewhat artistic, some humorous, and some a little bit cute. But so many are stupid, irritating, offensive, boring, or worse, and go on far too long and play far too often, earnest or perky voices exhorting us to buy their amazing product, which will miraculously solve all of our life's problems, or better yet, help us to become better, best, perfect in every way. Most of the time I silence the commercials, fast forwarding through them when I can, and otherwise pay them little heed. But not little enough apparently, because they continue to annoy me. And part of what annoys me is the underlying message that things will bring us happiness, or that product will make us beautiful and ravishing, or at least less offensive. I know that capitalism is a big part of our way of life, and that people need to hawk their wares to make a living. I don't begrudge them that. Or maybe I do. No, I really don't begrudge them that, but I resent the manipulation inherent in advertising. I resent the implication that we are not enough without more and better things, and particularly more and better personal care products such as soap and makeup and skin softeners and wrinkle fillers and hair removers and hair smoothers, sleekers, thickeners, colors, cleansers, curling products, straightening products, and teeth whiteners and teeth straighteners and decay preventive dentifrices and mouthwashes and on and on. When did we become such aberrant creatures that we need to protect the whole world from any semblance of our normal, natural selves? Okay, girls, there's an elephant in our bathrooms and no one's talking about it, says one tasteless ad. Well, you are, I think to myself, and oh, how I wish you weren't. That ad, of course, has to do with feminine hygiene, only obtainable via product, and without product, we are offensive and unacceptable. When did that become the case? And what does that teach our children? For skin as alive as you are, use product name, says another commercial. Oh my gosh, I don't want my skin to appear to be, what, less alive than I am? And oh my goodness, body hair. Except for the crowning glory upon your head, completely unachievable without the right shampoo, conditioner, and appliances. And if you are male, perhaps some face hair. But everything else, all body hair, is verboten, prohibited by polite society, forbidden. Even men must now shave their arms, legs, and chests. What? And we, your advertisers, have just the right device and skincare products to help you with that. Well, okay then, let's go get our credit cards out. Besides the blatant, sometimes shameless attempts to get us to shell out money for things we really don't usually need, I am concerned about what this tells us of our own okayness and what it tells our children about their true and natural worth. And because I am concerned, I did just a little bit of research. Americans in pre-Civil War years had the reputation, particularly among Europeans, of being, how shall we say, disgustingly filthy. Most people were rural, without, of course, indoor plumbing, and bathing involved carrying water from a source that was less than handy. Additionally, rural life saw little in the way of contagious disease. It was not until urban areas began to grow that epidemics began to occur. And it was then that people began to see a correlation between cleanliness and hygiene and health. And then it became a class thing too, at least to some extent. The haves had the ways and means to clean themselves regularly. The have-nots, well, not so much. Homes too were harder to keep clean back in the day, before window screens were invented, when flies and other insects came pouring in to join occupants for meals and accompany them to bed. Tobacco was popular too back in the day, and usually it was chewing tobacco, which men spat wherever they chose, be it indoors or out. If there was not a spittoon at hand, the floor often sufficed. Barnyards added to the filth of homes, and in towns, when horses were the dominant means of transportation, horse manure was a huge problem. But eventually, and slowly, streets were paved in one fashion or another, and cars replaced horses and the resulting manure. Eventually, screens began to cover open summer windows, which helped. And eventually, more and more people got running water in their homes. Actually, though, that was a slow process. One source said it wasn't until the 1930s that most urban homes had running water, and later still for rural households. But eventually, hygiene and cleanliness became far easier, and then it became more and more the standard by which people were judged, and by which they judged themselves. And today, in our country, it has become an obsession, or at least that is what some people elsewhere in the world think. They think America, or more particularly the United States, has become obsessed with cleanliness. And if our television commercials are any indicator, that's probably true. We certainly seem to have become obsessed with the right deodorant, the right moisturizer, the right laundry detergent and fabric softener, the right dish detergent, the right vacuum sweeper. and the right bladder leakage protection. We've become obsessed with the right clothes, the right furniture, the right lawn products and dog food, and the right hamburger and vegetable seasoning, the right insurance, the right internet provider, well, maybe we are just obsessed with advertising, obsessed with commercials. Your house smells just by virtue of people living in it. Plug in this device to rid your life of odors. Migraines, acid reflux, arthritis, psoriasis, itchy scalp, acne. We have medications to save you. Just beware of possible side effects up to and including death. It's so easy to sell on such and such site. I look at my old clothes and I see dollar signs. And on this other site, find things you need and love and use every day. And I want to say, quit nagging. I want to say, I'm never going to have full and thick hair. Quit making me feel I must devote my time, energy, my serious thoughts, and money to this lost cause. I want to say, I'm good enough. My children are good enough. I don't need your product to become acceptable. I want to say, my child can play basketball pretty darn good without eating your yogurt. I want to say, back off, bucko. Quit nagging. Quit exhorting us to standards we can't and maybe even shouldn't embrace. I want to say all that, and I want to say that life is bigger than this. Life is bigger than acquiring, than buying and selling, than aspiring to smoother skin and bouncier hair and perkier lips. I want to say, I'm okay. You're okay. And good enough is good enough. And have you stepped outside to feel the earth beneath your feet, to see the night sky? Have you stepped outside lately? Maybe you can make an ad for that. Amen. Now let us move into a time of meditation, reflection, and prayer. The spoken words for our meditation are by Teresa Soto. Breathe deeply. Tune out distractions. Relax and be comfortable as you listen to these words. The world makes many demands on your time, your skin, your heart, until you are left gasping and wondering if you will ever do enough, have enough, be enough. Stop your counting, measuring, and checking. You are enough, so much more than enough, made from fragments of the galaxy. You do measure up. And to recover from the doubt pressed upon you, the antidote for doubts is dreaming. All the dreams that call to you, lime green and frosting pink dreams, the other soft and tender dreams that run blue to gray, sky indistinguishable from lulling sea. The dreams that seem impossible, listen, that's their nature. If they had already happened, then they would be realities, solid and smooth like the round bone home of an unbroken egg. Be brave enough to name your dream, nurture it, and allow the rhythm of your breath to bring your dream to life. Let us consider these words in a brief time of silent reflection. Amen. And until next week, blessed, blessed be.
From all the fret and fever of the day, let there be moments when we turn away, and deaf to all confusing outer din, intently listen for the voices within. In quietness and solitude we find the soundless wisdom of the deeper mind. With clear harmonious purpose let us then bring richer meaning to the world again.
Hello again, this is Bill Seiler with a video recap of the most recent August meeting of the Church Board of Directors. The board met on August the 18th. The secretary will prepare the official meeting minutes for approval at our next meeting in September. But in the meantime, here's a short recap of what happened. Before the meeting, the board received written reports from the minister, the finance committee, the treasurer, and our director of religious exploration. Also, during the meeting, Reverend Beth and our treasurer, Marcus Rostig, each took a few minutes to elaborate on their written reports. Among other things, Beth mentioned that she and Jeanne Ortmann, mostly Jeanne, are working to switch the phone answering service over to a cheaper web-based alternative called Uma. We got a verbal report from Christy Hogan regarding the connection team, also known as the C team. The current team members are Christy, Sarah Osborne, Reverend Beth, Chelsea Orland, and Walt Holmes. The C team met this past week and added 2 new members to the team, Carmen Kelly and Nix Hill. Together they will continue the C team program efforts to keep us together and keep us connected in this time of distancing. The board had a light agenda for last night's meeting. We only took up 2 items of business. Recently we realized that we needed a formal written policy to avoid a few scheduling conflicts and other glitches we've encountered in our use of the 2 Zoom accounts that the church currently pays for. At last night's meeting, we reviewed a draft written policy statement. We're going to make one more round of tweaks to that draft based on last night's discussions, and then we'll take it up again at the next board meeting. The other item of business had to do with a suggestion to revise the church's mission statement. Specifically, we considered a suggestion that we change the phrase "welcome diversity" to something more emphatic, perhaps celebrate diversity. We didn't resolve anything last night, but the board will continue this discussion and will decide how and when to bring any proposed revision to the congregation for consideration. That was it for official actions taken. We'll meet again on September the 15th. You are all welcome to drop in and join us then. Take good care.